So Tasha, tell us a little bit about this film, of course.
Yeah. So my film is called nîpawistamâsowin, We Will Stand Up. And it's a film that I started a couple weeks after the late Colton Bushey was shot and killed when he entered a farmyard. And it follows his family through their trip through the Canadian legal system as a family of a victim, at their treatment at the hands of the RCMP, and their experience of going through the trial and the jury selection, which all resulted in an acquittal of the farmer Gerald Stanley.
And why did they want to become part of this film in such a difficult time, of course?
That's a great question. I mean, I think they knew of me. I'm Jade, who is the family spokesperson, is married to my cousin. They knew my work, and we talked about the need for the story to be told in an in-depth way by someone they felt they could trust. I think Indigenous stories, the coverage of Indigenous stories in the history of Canadian media has not always been that great. Mm-hmm. I think that's starting to shift. But I think, we all felt it was important that an Indigenous person tell this story.
What were some of the challenges you had in doing this film?
Well, I think, it's a tough subject matter. I'd never followed a court case like this before through this court system. I had done similar stories around injustices, but I think, that was a challenge. The length of time. We actually thought this was going to be a much shorter film. We thought that, as most people did, as the media even did, who were following the trial, assumed it would result in probably not second degree, but a manslaughter, and a full acquittal was not what anyone expected. And so the family just felt really compelled to continue to advocate, not just for themselves, but for other Indigenous people who are experiencing things in the justice system. So the length of time, the time away, there were challenges. And I think it's just difficult for anyone to confront when we grow up within the Canadian education system and the media that Canada is a fair and just country. It's hard to let go of that, and I think, I think that I had probably, because of my experiences, let go a little more than some, but even still, it was like so hard to be let down and to see the way that, there is an unfair treatment in different levels, and worrying about the future. What does that mean for the generations coming? How will it be for them? Yeah.
So, of course, you're getting support here by the National Film Board, and so I guess my million-dollar question is, did Alanis Obomsawin,
yeah.
Did she help you and influence you in doing this film at all?
I think Alanis Obomsawin has influenced, my generation of filmmakers, in her work that she's done. But she, I didn't involve her until we had a rough cut, and she saw it along with the other NFB people in January. We showed it to the family and then to the NFB. And, she just gave me words of encouragement that, I'm on a good path and then telling good stories. And that's really, that's what we've been working towards, a whole community of Indigenous filmmakers across the country to have support from institutions like NFB, CBC, Rogers, other funds that are out there. It's not the easiest to get a film made, and so to have support from these filmmaking institutions is important, so that stories that we tell have a wider reach, have a bigger audience. It's why I was so pleased to be the film was selected as opening night.
Yeah, so how does it feel to be opening night?
It feels overwhelming. I'll say that. I think it signals a shift, I think, in the industry overall, around the need to put Indigenous stories and voices, to give us a platform, to give us space. I think that we've been wanting and pushing and working towards that, and many before me were working towards that. And I think this is the beginning of more, more really important and skillful storytelling to come.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Tasha, and good luck with your film here at opening night. Of course, you have, and hot dogs, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fernando.